What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sith Council. We have a pretty great show here today. We got a lot of stuff to cover. We have a lot of great questions that came in from you guys. But besides that, Kevin Feige looks like the movie that is rumored for the longest time. The screenwriter says he's working on it, says he's been working on it. We'll talk about that. The lightsaber fights in Obi Wan, well, they're going to be very similar to the prequels, says Hayden Christensen. They're promoting Obi Wan Kenobi all over the place, and there was an Instagram post to show that promotion with some great photos that we'll also get into. The composer of Obi Wan starts talking about John Williams and the themes that she's attached to her score, and Palps. That's right. Ian McDiarmid says he's showing up one way or another. It's either going to be Andor or it's going to be Obi Wan. We'll have to figure that out and more. What's our plans for celebration? All of it. You know how it goes. And by the way, subscribe. Will you hit that subscribe button? Hit the notification button. Do all that. And like I said, if we get to 50,000 subscribers by June 1st, I'm going to smash myself in the face with a lemon pie and do a full video with a lemon pie on my face. If we get to 60,000 by July 1st, Steph's going to join me and take a cherry pie to the grill. So that's it. This is the show. This is Sith Council. Let's do it.
I can feel your anger. It gives you focus, makes you stronger.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. And if you didn't know this already, please go to the Big Thing podcast forum? Sure. Podcast page, Spotify, wherever podcasts are found, and you can find this show. We fixed her lighting, we think, and here it is. Oh, no, it's still dark, but that's all right.
It looks good, though. Her face pops, though.
It works.
Wow.
Yeah, not bad.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, and speaking of which, and then he's close-faced McGee over there.
Sit back there.
Welcome back, everybody, to the show. Mike Kalinowski.
Yes, sir.
Mike Kalinowski.
Cut me off there?
Perfect.
Where am I?
I don't know what the hell's going
Oh,
on
yeah.
here. I don't understand that.
I'm trying to look at my notes here on the screen that you typed up, and I look at lightsaber gites. Oh,
Okay.
lightsaber gites.
Lightsaber guts. Okay, but there was a lot going on, by the way, guys. As I was making the graphics this morning, I was looking into it, and I was like, holy crap, there's a ton of shit to talk about, and we can get right into it. Let's start with Palps.
Let's do it.
Let's start with Johnny Palps.
There's lightsaber gites.
Yeah, and you got to talk into the microphone. People
well,
will be able to hear
you got me so far away from the damn camera. Now I got to go closer.
It's a novel idea.
How about this one?
So
That better?
listen to this. So this is from our good buddy Miguel Fernandez over at Star Wars Newsnet. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker brought back Emperor Palps in body form, with Ian McDiarmid playing the role once again. And while we may have thought this would be the last time on screen as the evil Sith Lord, the actor could be returning sooner than anticipated. Speaking at his own panel during the most recent edition of the Imperial Commissary Collectors Convention, he said this: "There's a certain show coming soon, right around the time I may have considered to be very active." Actually, you know what? There is a certain show coming soon, set around the time I might have considered to be very active. Whether or not you will see my physical body, I cannot comment on. But you will feel my presence. Thank you, Pals.
That was great.
Damn.
I love it. I love it. But look, this is what we were speculating on this for a while. That every time we asked each other, when's he going to show up? It was either Obi Wan or Andor.
Yes.
Why not both? What do you think?
Do you think it's overabundance of Palps?
Is it too much?
Is it an embarrassment of riches or an overabundance?
No, because he says the same thing that we had kind of hinted on,
Yeah.
that you're probably going to get the same thing that you got when in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, a hologram.
A hologram. Why
Yeah.
not? Where are you going now? Pick me up some In-N-Out.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly what he's going to order in space.
Right. Go ahead.
I I love the Palps, obviously, great villain, and I think important to both stories, but I would want him very minimally. I wouldn't want...
Yeah, I don't want him to be...
It's not his story.
No, he doesn't need to be locked into... But when he shows up, scare the shit out of me, you know?
As they say, he knows the assignment.
Yeah.
Right? But when he showed up in Rise of Skywalker, I was kind of like... I feel a little tarnished.
He
he
took
did
a
a
gig.
manicure.
He took a gig.
It did, yeah. And
That's
like
all it
he's
was.
always, anytime he popped up, he was just like, the prequels, he's one of the best things in the prequels.
No, he turned into a monster in the last one. No. In the last
prequels,
one. In the prequels, he was fine.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. But in Rise of Skywalker, he's just kind of like a creepy B movie monster.
Yeah, and it just seemed like,
Yeah. And I still stand by that they could have put him in the movie and still made it work. because what they didn't do at all is they didn't tie in the Plagueis stuff. Like Plagueis.
Yeah, but do you think
Plagueis said he says to him he taught him how to cheat death.
Right,
okay,
right,
fine.
right.
Tell me how you. That should have been the story. Tell me how you cheated death.
Palpatine is alive? That's all we got.
He cheated death because I cloned him. Get that the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. I got to stop cursing because we got a couple comments on
the cursing.
Well, there are children who watch the Star Wars one, so I that was the last one I'm going to do for a while. So I'm sorry because there was a parent that wrote in last week and said and right away I said you're right when it comes to like big thing when the regular one I'll go nuts, but for this the parents right. So my apologies on where is it? Oh,
apologies.
I know.
Apologies.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, I just think that he could show up in if I had my choice, Andor, actually. It'd probably be Obi Wan, but Andor.
With Tarkin and
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm very curious.
Yeah.
I don't know because he's in charge of Order 66. That was his thing.
I know.
This and that,
and he is the one
Vader's
that gets
carrying out the
yeah.
orders. But could this be where they think Obi-Wan is dead and Palpatine's on to bigger, more important things, and Vader's still got that kind of that term stuck in you got it stuck in your craw?
Yeah.
Like, you ever heard that? You ever heard
No.
that? You got to thank you. It's an older. I think it's an older thing, right? It's like it's stuck in your craw. It's just like it's.
Roka made. It was like Roka's
here we
catchshiz in
go.
Shimoda. No, it's true. So he say it all the time.
Aw.
Roka would say it all the time. And
It's stuck in my craw?
Yeah, he's like, and it's one thing that gets stuck in my craw every single time. Roka made it. It was a.
What
it was
is
a famous-
craw for 3,000? What is craw?
What is Craw for 3,000?
She's asking what it is.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Don't you know what?
I
This is
can't.
we're getting.
What
we're
is
getting-
Craw for 3,000? What is that?
I can't.
It's okay. We're
That's
fine.
is that a
I wish I had an ejection button.
You know,
to
you're
just
like an
lift
old.
you off your seat through
yeah,
the roof.
you're like an old man on the couch.
I'm just as old as you are. We're the same age.
That's
why?
that's not true.
Age
actually.
is just a
100%.
number.
But anyway, the point is, you are like it's like you're sitting on your old porch with like a shotgun with a glass of iced tea, and you're just going through these motions inside of your head. You don't. There's no one there. There's no one on the porch. But you're screaming
My
at
goal in life is to be Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino.
You're there.
That's gonna be
That
me.
you're there.
Your
It's gonna
your
be me
goal.
then.
Well, you'll be. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Wow. Give him the Oscar.
It's true. You're really good. All right. Anyway, so I think that everybody's on board. Does anybody have a problem with him being on? No, I think it makes sense that he would be on there. This is exactly. I mean, I think that's a good add to it. This is the kind of cameo that we were talking about that I think plays into.
I want it to make sense though,
It
and it will.
Agreed.
I don't want a 3PO cameo because I can't stand those.
No, and there probably will be one.
Of course there will be. Of
Yeah.
course there will be.
I'm sure there will be.
Anthony Daniels will get his paycheck for the day.
Yeah, he's going to show. He'll be well in Andor. That will be okay if they're in there. It makes
They
sense.
don't need to be in there either.
It would make sense to do it. All right, let's get to the next one because this is the big. Everyone's talking about this for a while, and that's the Kevin Feige thing, right? So Kevin Feige, Michael Waldron, who wrote the Loki stuff. Stop this. Michael Waldron has begun working on Kevin Feige's produced Star Wars movie, and the quote is that we are finally into it earnest. I mean, I'm writing away. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying having the freedom on that to do something that's not necessarily a sequel or anything. It maybe has a little bit best of. It just doesn't have a bunch of TV shows and movies that you're servicing on top of it the way I did with Doctor Strange. So it's nice. It feels like a different exercise. There's a lot more in there than you would expect. But let's see. So Michael Waldron, who is the writer of various Marvel Studio projects, whether it is Loki, Doctor Strange, and the Multiverse of Madness, is now turning his attention to the Star Wars film. And he was talking to Variety when he said all that. And Waldron is referring to how the last Doctor Strange features a number of allusions and tie-ins into several existing Marvel Cinematic Universe projects that touch upon existing characters and explore the Marvel multiverse, including WandaVision, Loki, What If, Spider-Man No Way Home, and yada, yada, yada. So with that in mind, maybe don't expect a dozen of cameos of popular Star Wars characters in whatever his movie ends up being. Okay. That's enough. That's everything that we need to know. So here's what I gather from all of this. I now have decided. Remember, I was guaranteeing we have a steak dinner out that
We do, don't we? What was that bet again?
That Taika Waititi, that they're going to announce one movie.
Yes.
I'm not going to put a bet on this one, but I would if you want to. They're announcing two. Two movies are coming out. They're going to announce two movies now.
What was our bet again? That Taika's going to come out on
Not
stage?
Taika. That they were going to announce one movie. They were going to announce at least one movie. Go back.
I don't know if that was our bet.
It's on video.
I don't know if that was our bet. I think you said Taika was going to show up and announce his video.
I did say that, but I said that's the movie they're going to announce, and I said I guarantee they're going to do a movie, and you said they're not doing any movies. They're not going to announce any more movies. Cool. It's on tape.
Can someone give me the timestamp on
It's
that?
fine.
Because I think we're...
It's fine. It doesn't matter. The point is this.
Oh, God.
I think that if he's confident enough to say that he's writing this movie right now,
Yeah.
and they're so close to Celebration, and what's the next big Marvel movie? It's Thor, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a little bit out before, like July or whatever it might be, that Kevin Feige is going to start really promoting it. So he's got a little bit of time to show up at Celebration. He's a Star Wars head. He'll probably be there anyway for at least a little bit of it. He comes out and he announces what it is. And because of this little snippet that we just got here, they're going to finally go back, whether it's High Republic or Old Republic. Remember that Benioff and Weiss, the creators of Game of Thrones, the TV show creators, they were heavily rumored, that their project was the formation and the start of the Sith and the Jedi back in the day. So they've been farting around in that time area at one point or another. So maybe when that whole transition happened, and Feige is a big enough fan of Star Wars that maybe he said, I want to play around in this Old Republic era. I want to kick off the Old Republic era. And he doesn't, and this would tie into what this dude is talking about. This doesn't tie into any Skywalkers. It doesn't tie into anything. It's thousands of years.
Say now.
Well, I mean, but it's thousands of years beforehand. So this is what he said. He said it doesn't tie in. So I think that this is a pretty much, if we do get at least one movie, this might be the movie that's announced. I still think Taika's coming out, but this I think cemented that we're getting at least one movie thing. Steph, what do you think?
I think that's true. It's just like too close to the
Right.
timing. We might even get like a first look or photos from. They might have been really filming something secretly.
You think they're filming already?
I don't know. Like,
Wow.
It just seems like they've been really quiet about movies,
Yeah.
and maybe they're getting it together. Who knows? At least on one, or trying to accomplish one. But I definitely think we'll get an announcement of one for sure.
Do you think?
I was surprised though, because I thought Feige would be like the last one that we're working on.
Well, but that's the thing with him. When it comes to a plan, and he loves Star Wars. So
Yeah.
I think this is something I don't think he's
wanted to do.
I don't think he's going to let this one go. And I think that he really wants this to work. And I think that they have been working on the idea for a long time. But didn't want to announce anything. And he said, let's get the script strong enough and the idea strong enough that we can actually announce it come Celebration. But
Can you imagine?
You starting to realize that you might lose a steak dinner here with this comment? No.
So, now wait a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they announce this one, but not the Taika one, do I still lose my
You
steak
go
dinner?
back and watch the
No, I'm
video.
not. I'm trying to talk to you
said-
here.
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
You said the Taika movie announcement.
No, I said a movie. I
Oh,
said
you're
one
doubling
movie.
down now. That's a BS.
I'm going to
Doubling
just show.
down.
There's no doubling down. You just
Yeah,
go back
you're
and you
doubling
watch.
down.
You just go back and you watch.
So I said that they're not going to announce any
You just said they're
movies.
not announcing movies. Because there's comments saying, I agree with Mike. They're not showing any movies at all.
All right. Well, then I'm going to stick by the fans who
Okay.
are sitting there backing me up.
Okay, great.
Do you think
Shut
that
your
they're
mouth.
hoping that? Well, I feel like it's a lot of pressure for Feige. If Feige's the next Star Wars movie that comes out and he nails it, he's going to be even
God.
bigger of a legend. Because we're going to be like, wow, you did this to Marvel and now Star Wars.
He's just producing. He's a producer.
producing.
but
Yeah.
still, like, I
don't
think
know
he's
who's
Well, you know
trapped
what's going to
in it.
happen. He does that.
Yeah,
You know,
Taika's going to direct his movie.
no, you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. Then we'll get rid of Kathleen Kennedy and put Feige in charge. We'll get it.
That's
Watch.
already happening.
Yeah.
But just watch.
Even
if he
more so,
knocks
yeah.
a film out of the park, watch.
Understand this. This is the other thing with
She's
Kathleen. Remember, Kathleen.
co-signing him.
I know.
But remember this. The other thing too. Kathleen Kennedy's deal
Yeah.
ends in like 2025.
But didn't she just get re-upped?
But it was like 3 years or whatever it was.
little 3-year deal?
2025, 2026, something like that.
Okay.
By the time the next movie comes out,
Yeah.
she's either going to have re-upped again,
Yeah.
or she'll be gone.
Yeah.
She's going to keep re-upping. They're going to keep her there.
Maybe.
We don't know.
Well, who knows? But if
Depends
they
how they
haven't,
do, I think.
they can't. They whether it's keeping her or not keeping her, they can't have any more. Here's your director. Just kidding. They can't
Yeah,
do that
no, no,
anymore.
no.
So that's why I stuck
It
with.
looks so unprofessional.
Then I can announce movies. 'Cause
They're going to announce a movie. They're going to.
how many times have we gotten this far? This Michael Waldron talking
I'm not
about
telling you
scripts?
that
We've been there with scripts.
I'm
before,
not telling
and
you that
scripts
we're.
are going,
I'm not telling you that it's a guarantee this movie's going to happen. I'm just saying I'm guaranteeing you that they're going to announce it because and it might happen on that Thursday.
Yeah.
And that goes into Star Wars Celebration. People are going to be asking us about Celebration. So last week, I I did get a confirmation that Mike and Steph will indeed be joining me at Star Wars Celebration. So all three of us will be there. We're not going to have a panel. I didn't even get a response to it, so I didn't even follow up anymore. So I was done with it. So which is fine. I want to kind of go there, and we'll be, hopefully, if you see us, come by, say hello, all that stuff. But we'll be there, and we are going to be covering the panels, and we'll be doing all that stuff. We'll be there Thursday through Sunday. So Sith Council will be there covering it, and we'll be putting videos on the channel pretty much like the way that Mark and I did for our Top Gun reaction. We're right out of the theater. That type of stuff we'll do right out of the theater panels, reactions, and all that. And so everybody here has seen... oh, that's not true. Top Gun. That's just me and Steph. Just Steph and I.
Just the two of you guys.
I was literally going to say, watching Top Gun made me so even more upset that we're not getting that movie.
It's true. So this is pretty much
Patty
Top
Jenkins.
Gun. But this is pretty much, if you want to see how the atmosphere is here with people who have seen Top Gun who haven't. Look at that stuff. There he is. Oh wait, you want to see Top Gun?
Yeah. And ask who's the biggest TC fan of this entire room. And it's this guy.
These two right here.
This guy.
Yeah, I'm a newborn, but I'm
different
with it.
podcast,
I'm
but
working
it's
on my call sign currently.
Good, and you should.
Thirst trap.
I won't say on our kids channel.
Pretty fun. All right,
Actually, that's rocks.
all right. Let's go. Let's
Call
go
sign
to
Thirst Trap.
so the next one here. That was there is the lightsaber fights that are going to be happening. Hayden Christensen, being interviewed, said that the Obi Wan Kenobi lightsaber duels are in line with the fighting style of the prequels. His direct quote was, "We're more in line with the prequels than we were in how the fights are in the original trilogy. These characters have aged, but not that much yet." So because there's been a lot of talk about whether or not we were going to see that kind of slow Episode 4 fighting, because how did they get there, and why is it so slow by the time that they get there 9 years later? And it's like, look.
You guys.
This is 1977 when the movie came out,
I know.
and they're
two
moving around,
older men.
and they're moving around slow. And it's like
Yeah.
if they had the technology and the opportunity to do this back then, they would have.
Yeah, it's implied.
It's implied. So it's like that I give a pass to, even though I don't love when Yoda's flipping around like a gymnastic doing lightsaber fights. It takes away from the character, but
It's the same thing with Rogue One, the space battle. Probably the best space battle in any Star Wars film.
yeah.
Versus New Hope space battle. The technology wasn't there. We couldn't do
It was
it.
different.
It's
And
different.
Look, and I'm not busting your chops here. It's very similar
my
to
chops?
like Top Gun Maverick and Top Gun. You see how much more detail. Like
I
they use
wouldn't know
every
'cause I
dollar.
haven't seen it.
I know every dollar counts
to
in
be
that
nice.
movie, and they just put so much more into it.
Yeah.
Whether the planes and all that stuff that they could have done.
And you
back
wouldn't
then.
have
Yeah.
wanted
I
them
know.
to be like, let's
I know.
keep the same interface
Well, why-
technology.
Yeah, why don't you see it the weekend it comes out?
Because I'm going to be at Star Wars
Oh.
Celebration
Oh, right.
Thursday night. I had my
Right.
tickets at
Right.
the Dolby Prime Theater.
Give them away to somebody. Give them to a fan.
I have to do the Sith Council because I want to do it for the fans and be
That's
there for you
see,
guys.
well,
So
there you
it's
go.
at night. What if at night you could make the movie?
Drive all the way back to Burbank from
See it in
Anaheim at
Anaheim.
night.
See it in Anaheim. You dope.
you
That
going?
movie
I'm going to
did
see it with my lady.
Oh,
Yeah.
well then
Yeah,
tough.
see it in Anna.
Well,
Get
let's-
it. Okay.
let's
I'll talk to
jokes on you
later.
for being chivalrous.
Yeah.
All right.
Pipe down there, call sign.
All right, here we go.
I gotta
Next,
think of one for
next,
you.
Should think
next
of
one.
mine.
Next
I have a
one.
list of 3.
Do you?
All right, so we have so we have the Feige one. We got the lights. Oh, the lightsabers. We're gonna talk about the lightsabers. So yeah, as we said, I think that the fight itself, though,
Yeah.
when you look at that fight, that they put both Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor put so much work into those prequel fights, and you could tell every time they talked about it, they were so excited about it. That they're doing the same thing for this one.
Yes.
And to see that kind of
What is your
battle,
thoughts on their battles in Rise of Revenge of the Sith?
I wish it would have been on a real location. The fight itself
Oh, I
was
see what you're saying.
the fight itself was
Okay.
great. It was just so done in a computer world. It took me out of it. Like, did you watch Lost?
I tried,
Yeah,
and
that's fine.
the not revealing anything and more mystery.
I just needed a yes or no. That's fine. So at the very end of that series, there's a scene that happens between the character of Locke and Jack, and they fight on this. It's like up this like mountain, and there's like smoke coming out of them. And I remember watching and going, "Oh, that's the way that I would have loved for like Obi Wan." And it was a real location, like with and like on a and I always envisioned Mustafar like that as a kid, but like it was so overly CGI'd. I wish that they had the volume at that point to do something like that, and now they do.
Yeah, McGregor. Did you guys read that Entertainment Weekly article in their last issue about McGregor? He was saying about the filming of Episode 3. He's like, I enjoyed it, but it was like, we were all in green screen, and by the end, it's like I think Luke's made a bet with Spielberg, like I could do the whole movie green,
right?
And he's like, so I was there with Hayden, we were fighting, but it just didn't have
that same
what
thing.
I'm doing now.
Well, that's what they all say about the volume is that you, as an actor, you're around like if you're acting with someone and you look up and there's this big green screen. They're like, and there's a volcano, and you're like, there is.
And every person that sees that volcano is picturing a different volcano.
Right.
You're all looking at something different.
Exactly. Because the imagination, you don't know. You maybe have a great imagination.
Yeah.
But in the volume, you see a volcano.
Yeah.
It's an actual volcano, so you can act against it. So so I think that's where it's changed dramatically. And I think that the fight will be the amount of passion that they put into the prequels, adding it to this, I think we're in good shape. Okay. So now getting on to the next one here. This is the composer. She looks like Meadow Soprano.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
She really does. Jamie Lee Sigler. Obi Wan Kenobi composer Natalie Holt talks approach to the score and building on John Williams' new theme. All right, so she was the composer of what did she go? Loki. She composed Loki. Oh. So this is what she said. She had a lot to say here. The Obi-Wan news just keeps on coming. Yesterday, fans received the second trailer. Yesterday. Well, this is an older.
May 5th.
Oh, well, there you go. Recently, fans received the second trailer for the upcoming Disney Plus series, plus the announcement that the new merchandise for the show will be revealed every week starting May 25th through Obi-Wan Wednesdays. Now the series' main composer, Natalie Holt, has spoken out about her experience working on the highly anticipated project. And for decades, Star Wars musical landscape exclusively consisted of John Williams' legendary compositions. Since Disney began production Star Wars movies and TV series, however, we've seen new composers put their spin on the galaxy far, far away, beginning with Michael Giacchino for Rogue One and John Powell for Solo. No mention of Kevin Kiner. Come on! The newer live-action TV series have featured the work of composers like Joseph Shirley and Emmy winner Ludwig Göransson. Now Natalie Holt, who has also composed the score for last year's Loki and the upcoming Batgirl film, joins their ranks while also becoming the franchise's first female composer. That's awesome. The Hollywood Reporter recently interviewed her on all things Kenobi, and they discussed everything, and here are some of the quotes from Holt. All right. First one. Loki required a certain lightness of touch, shall we say. It was more comedic in places and was also just a wacky journey through time and space. I was using lots of different palettes of color in there that weren't appropriate for Obi-Wan because it's more of a serious tone. Love what I'm hearing thus far. For me, as a violinist and someone who's a lover of big orchestral sounds, it was just a chance to pay homage to John Williams. It's kind of a collaboration with the history of Star Wars and his new theme, and then also bringing a bit of modernity to it. There are some new elements in there, and I guess it was my take on orchestral and emotional, and I really got some lovely violin solos in there from James Aines. It was pushing the forces of what I've been allowed to work with because of the scale of the drama as well. And as previously mentioned, Holt isn't the first new composer to work on a Star Wars project since the beginning of her Disney era. She took a moment to elaborate on how her experience with the franchise was similar to those of her fellow artists, in particular, John Powell. I probably had a more similar journey to John Powell or Michael Giacchino in the world of my Star Wars experience because it was steeped in the historical heritage characters, whereas Ludwig had a kind of new landscape to work with, so he was able to carve out a little bit more. He managed to set his own musical tone with what he was doing in The Mandalorian, just a bit more from the canon. Powell had a theme written by John Williams, who wrote a theme for Han Solo as well. I got to meet him actually at the SCL Awards, and it was great to have a bit of camaraderie. He said, you get to do a Star Wars job, and it's this thing you've grown up with as a kid. John Williams is John Williams, so it's overwhelming, and it takes you a hot minute to get your head around it. Obi-Wan Kenobi's director, Deborah Chow, as well said this about just finding the tone and the balance of the Star Wars that we've known and then doing something fresh and a bit more of your own identity with it. So many artists, she's a really kind of detailed article, which I liked a lot. Many artists who've had the pleasure of working on Star Wars talk about how hard it can be to find their own voice. And now here's some of the other stuff that I want to go into this other thing where she talks about John Williams. Holt also explained how much John Williams contributed to the series during the brief time during his busy schedule that allowed him to work on the project. Let me see where that quote is. She says, we didn't collaborate, but I did get to use his theme. He didn't have very long, and it was last minute whether he'd have time or not, but he really wanted to write that theme because he was the one character he didn't write a theme for in the original movie. That's awesome.
That's sick.
So I think he had this feeling that he wanted to complete the challenge. I think he had 2 weeks, and he came on board and wrote the Obi theme in a suite, which is the main title, and a few variations of how the Obi theme can work. That was what he had time to give the project, and it was a gift. It was perfect, and once I had an Obi theme, it set up the tempos for the project. And then we move on. We're finally, we did that already. Sorry. Anyway, so that's the gist. That's the gist of it. Where she she's really passionate about it. And she gets a chance to do all this stuff. I love the fact that John Williams collaborated with her. I love the fact that she came and did that 2-week piece. But she's the other thing that she said is that it was just, she said she wished there was another quote where she said she wished it was a little longer. She wished it had some more time because of a movie, because with TV it goes quick. But what do you think of these comments so far, Steph?
I love the fact that we're getting the orchestra.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than an orchestra in space.
Yep.
I love that, like, when it seems like she's taking her own, but also paying homage to the people that came before. And I think that creates the best synergy, especially for Star Wars, because you want to recognize the past, but also they need to start building their own individuality into the new age. And I love that. Like, I feel like Deborah Chow's doing and saying all the right things to everyone on the cast.
Right. Yeah, Mike?
Ditto. Yeah.
Oh,
There's nothing bad said on that. It's exciting.
It is exciting. I'm excited to see.
I do hope. I am cut you off there. We do get, because I think about the different shows we've had. I really can't picture a Boba Fett theme, but I can picture Mandalorian.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I just hear
not the way that it was set up.
Yeah,
yeah. Did you guys watch Gallery yet? No, not one of us has watched it yet.
No.
I know. I keep meaning to watch it.
I do
watch Stand By Me the other day. I didn't watch that though.
I can't remember the themes for a lot of the Marvel shows, but the Mandalorian sticks out. So I'm hoping we get that with Obi-Wan, that it just makes its mark.
I mean, John Williams is doing the main theme, so it probably will.
I hope, I hope she's able to use that theme in the show. Yeah, and we kind of get something that we're humming along after months after seeing it.
Mm-hmm. All right, we get some questions now that are coming in from you guys. You guys have this week I posted on both the YouTube community page and my Facebook page, and so you guys submitted. We took some screenshots, and the rest is history. Let's start with the first one. Boon Kwai. Personally, I worry that the Obi Wan series will ruin Episode 4 for me. I do not believe that Obi Wan and Vader should face off or clash sabers in the show. I understand that you don't feel the same way, that you're focused on Vader's response to Luke in Episode 6, he once felt. But do you have your own concerns for this show and anything you feel they might retcon that might affect the way we see Episode 4 or anything else? It's a great question. Yeah. It's a great question. So there are a couple of things that we talked about it last week. My biggest concern is the tropes that Star Wars puts themselves in all the time. Like when Episode 9 was coming out, and I'm like, they're gonna turn Kylo good, they're gonna do it, and I'm fearing they're gonna do the same thing with Reva. Yeah, I really am. It's like she's gonna set her up as this big bad guy, and then at the very end, they're like, gonna.
She made some comments recently about how little girls will see her and her hair and want to dress up like her, and I'm like,
if you're a bad guy, then why would they want to do that?
Yeah, if you're like this disgusting villain.
Yeah, you don't mind it though that they turn her, right?
No, I don't.
You don't mind.
No, it's gonna be awful.
It's just the same thing over and over again. It's like, just let your bad guy be a bad guy all the way through. Let your bad guy. Let her be a bad guy.
There's definitely, I think, like, it wouldn't be my first choice, but I wouldn't be that upset with that.
It also depends on the turn and stuff like that too, and whether or not it's gonna happen or not. It's like,
what's her motives, her backstory.
Yeah, and it's just like, what you don't want is the predictability of, here you go, Vader has these Inquisitors, and the Inquisitors are so ruthless, except this one, who is so ruthless. She goes against her. She's
Inquisitor buddies.
Her Jedi stuff came back, and it's like, if I was Vader at that point, I'm like, look, this is gonna keep happening. Kill them all. But that doesn't happen because we know that the Grand Inquisitor. Now Reva is nowhere to be found during Rebels, so she either does turn and takes off,
sacrifices
herself, or Obi Wan takes her out. That to me is what I hope would happen, is that you would have her not do that thing where, like, that's what I said too. If you want to spin off a series, and this is something I think they should definitely do with new characters, because Reva looks cool. She looks like a cool character. Yeah. She looks like, if they go to a place where they make her own series and have her own thing, fantastic. Okay. If people respond to it. But let Obi-Wan have Obi-Wan show. Let Obi-Wan be the Obi-Wan character on this one for sure. And there's no indication that that's not the case. I'm just saying. So that's, as this guy's asking, one of my fears is not the retcons of Episode 4, because I think that this is the place where the prequels retconned a lot of this, or put a lot more plot holes into these things than. As we mentioned, I think that I'm actually looking forward to those moments. Mike had mentioned this too. And someone mentioned in the comments, it's very possible that they call him Luke Lars on this show. There is no moment in the entire series, in episode 4 anyway, on Tatooine, that he's ever called Luke Skywalker. He's never called Luke Skywalker on. He knows who he is.
Yeah.
But he's never called Luke Skywalker out loud. Yeah. So until he says, "I'm Luke Skywalker, I'm here to save you," he says that at that point. But he never says it on Tatooine. So they could, again, maneuver their way around and do it.
We'll see.
So, Steph, what do you think about all this? So if that, for that question in particular, do you have concerns for this show and anything you feel that they could retcon that might affect the way that you're going to see episode 4 or anything else? Like, he says this. Brune says it up top. He and I are on very different pages. Where I don't think at any point them fighting retcons what's happened at all. But there are a lot of people who do.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, but I could see why someone might be fearful of that. I just don't have the same attachment in that sense. I want to see them fight. So I think the only thing I would be worried about is what you mentioned. Like, if it's not I don't want it to be like Boba, where it became a Mandalorian show, which I loved because I love the Mandalorian. Right. But Obi-Wan, I want Obi-Wan.
It should be Obi-Wan show, especially in 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing against a brand new character and someone who's going to be cool and get me on board with. But yeah, let's just make sure it's an Obi-Wan show. And as I said, there's no indication that it's not. But do you have any fears?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Not at all. So nothing that's going to retcon or what? I mean, like any. So, but are you on the same page or different page when it comes to the potential turning? And look, the other side of it is maybe it's not. Well, we know it's not Reva. I mean, Reva could be the only one that could turn because we know the other two don't because we see them in Rebels as bad guys. So.
Yeah, unless she dies.
Yeah.
No, I want bad guys to be bad guys.
Right.
I don't want to feel sympathy for you.
I just don't want to do that again. It's like how many times would they do that? It's been every move. It's like someone wrote in the comments, yeah, but that's what they do in Star Wars. They turn to people. It's like, yeah, but we don't have to do it again.
No, be a villain.
I really hope not.
You're
really
a villain.
Hope not.
You are.
Yeah.
You're
someone that I'm not getting into the spoilers of it all, but someone sent me some link. They said, "This that concern you guys had. There's a leaked spoiler. This is." I'm like, I don't want to know about it.
Yeah,
I don't want to know about it.
Yeah.
But it's like it, and I also have tremendous confidence in
Deborah Chow.
Yeah. And so I just want to see how the story plays out before I judge anything.
My only thoughts is because we've seen.
Where you going?
I'm moving my chair here a little bit better. My only thoughts about that with the Reva bit are the fact that we have now 3 Inquisitors we're focusing on. The High Inquisitor, the guy with the...
Grand Inquisitor.
The Grand Inquisitor, the guy with the black...
Brother, yeah.
Yeah, and then her.
Well, and another one, too. The sister's in there, too, they show at one point, too.
Okay.
I think they're going to show the whole band.
I just feel... The Seventh Sister?
I think so.
I just feel like...
Too much?
I think they're going to be like, well, they're all bad. Isn't that too much? Maybe we got to have one side with Obi-Wan and then there's the rift between them, and that causes the Inquisitors to judge what they're doing. And I'm like,
I think so.
Because we're talking about the story. Because
God,
we don't know what the core of the story is still, except for Obi-Wan protecting Anakin.
That's what it should
Luke.
be. The majority of the it should be Obi-Wan going and having these adventures.
And she throughout the core will be showing these like, what am I doing? Is this right?
No, I hope not. God, I hope not.
I hope not, because we've seen that with
just seen it a
Anakin
million
times. We've seen it with
Kylo
being
just
turned.
seen it a
We've
million times in video games and everything too. It's just like no, you don't need to.
I don't know why.
And again, they're like playing middlemen though. The Inquisitors are like kind of they're just doing whatever, like where the flow.
But we also saw it in the video game in Fallen Order. At the end of it, there's another one that's about to start. She starts to turn because of and Vader takes her out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk now. People do say with Disney not letting them go too dark and this and that, and then there's the whole, Doctor Strange with the rating and with this and this. So is Disney like, do they have to all be bad? Is there someone in there that we kind of have as a good guy with?
Yeah, Obi-Wan.
I know. Oh, I know. But I think like, well, it's a female character to be really good for the girls to.
But Obi-Wan's not necessarily.
And now Reva is a made-up
though.
character, right? Reva's new.
She's new, and
she's not
new.
canon.
You say Obi-Wan's not great?
Well, he's
Hold
great.
Your tongue. He's a lot. He does lie a lot.
This is what I'm
though.
saying. The whole council is boo-boos. Like like when I'm rewatching, like they suck in a lot of ways.
The Jedi Council.
They're arrogant.
Yes,
of course.
And it's like Obi-Wan, for Ahsoka just stood, did nothing. Like, he's not flawless. That's what makes him so great. Right. So I think, like, that's why there's gray area in this period of time specifically in Star Wars where the council just got blown up in their face for being stupid and being way too rigid. And then there's a whole in-between people, including Jedis, including people that became Inquisitors, that are unsure of, like, who they actually side with. Like, it's an unsure period in the galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a good point. It's a good point. We'll see. We'll see how it pans out. Thank you for that question. Good debate. I like what we're doing here. All right, next one. Ramtack Solutions. Lucasfilm appears to be trashing original characters and stories. I don't know about that. Rey is the galactic hero, not Anakin and Luke. That doesn't necessarily trash Anakin and Luke. I don't disagree with you that they took away that whole the one who's the one by that particular thing that they did. They did kind of throw off the prophecy there. They did a subpar Boba Fett show, and the Mandalorian episodes were better. Almost like saying, "See, our Boba Fett is better than George's Boba Fett." I don't know about that. With these Kenobi ending rumors retconning Kenobi's sacrifice, well, I don't know what the ending rumors. That's what I'm saying. I didn't read anything. Yeah, so should we be scared about how they do the Ahsoka show? Well, first of all, we haven't seen anything with Kenobi. We don't know what that is. As far as the Boba Fett. Better than George's Boba Fett. I think that what happened was they basically made the Mandalorian into what we thought he was going to be. Remember, it wasn't George's Boba Fett in particular. George Lucas, I don't know, he wasn't really supposed to do anything. He was supposed to be an action figure. He was supposed to be an action figure. And then the fans who thought he was cool made him popular. And George didn't have a lot of stuff. He didn't have a backstory with Boba Fett. So that I'm not so sure. And then the plans of we all agree on there was no plan with the film in the new films at all. That's not Rey's fault or anybody else's fault. That was just a matter of how they particularly wrote it. So I understand what you're saying, that they didn't pay enough attention to the lore. I don't think they ruined any characters by doing so. I think they negated some of the stuff they set up in the past for sure. But no, I think that, and you can't judge Obi Wan, and if you like what they did in Rebels and Clone Wars, then you're probably gonna like what they're gonna do in Ahsoka, because that's all Filoni. This is essentially just Rebels, a next season in Rebels, just live action.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's as much about. I don't think anyone working in Star Wars would want to tarnish anything George Lucas did.
Right.
I mean, there might be, but I don't think so. I think the point is to evolve the legacy.
Yeah, especially not Dave Filoni, who's like, it's like that's like Filoni. Lucas is like his Yoda.
Yeah.
He's not. There's nothing. He's the one guy, and when you listen to him, he's following all the philosophies of what George did with Star Wars, and that's what they. My opinion is that's not what they did in the movies. Like the TV, they're following that. So. Look, I don't know what they're doing with the ending of Obi Wan. First of all, I don't know if it's true. Second of all, I didn't read it. So all I said was someone said that the ending, if true, whatever, voices our concerns in the conversations that we've been having on this show. That's the farthest I took it. Okay. So we haven't seen the show, and there is a possibility too. Like, even if it turns out to be any of this stuff that we're talking about with Reva or that stuff, and it's executed well, I'll be the first person to say, "Hey, we were wrong. That was awesome."
Yeah, that's another thing. If it doesn't go the way we want it to,
right?
As long as it's good.
What's the journey? What is the journey in order to get there? Does it and does it feel earned? Like, as we were talking about with Doctor Strange, just things that people were definitely disagreeing with me about. There are things in Doctor Strange that I don't think felt earned, and there are other times that things do feel earned, right? In movies in general. So. If it feels earned and it's a choice that we didn't necessarily want, but it's earned and it works in the context of the story, bring it on. All right, let's go. Next question here. Thomas Aquila. With the amount of success that virtual sets have had lately with Star Wars content, do you guys think that we will ever get a film or show that does not utilize this style of filmmaking? I love the virtual sets, but I'm starting to be able to spot shows that use it and those who do not. It's becoming a little jarring. Love the show and thanks. Well, you're better. You got a better eye than I do, because I'm still. Oh, look at that! There's 4 moons on that. But where do they shoot that?
Yeah,
they have a place that has 4 moons.
Yeah. No, I have no idea.
No, I have no clue. But
I get what he's saying.
Yeah, I do too. Well, they did do a little of that. Robert Rodriguez's episode in The Mandalorian. I mean, I hope that they do a little bit more of it. From what I heard, they do a little bit of that in Obi Wan. I think they use a lot of the volume, but I heard that they do use locations and stuff. as well.
Yeah, weren't they in London?
I will say this.
I don't think so.
Oh.
I think
I
they
will-
reconstructed
I think
some
it
stuff to
all
make it look
depends
like
on the
it.
filmmaker, because as much as I do not like, and we've talked about this, Eternals, I watched that recently.
A lot of location stuff there.
So much location.
Yeah.
They made a point of that. And I remember
Yeah.
during the filming of it, they were talking about that Chloe Zhao was saying, like, I need to shoot this on location. And it just looks different than like a Doctor
Yeah.
Strange or like I'll compare the two, Spider-Man and Eternals. Spider-Man looks like they were shot in an Atlanta soundstage the entire movie. The scenes they showed of him and Happy Hogan at the graveyard,
Yeah.
and it's a green screen. You're
Right.
like, oh
we
my
just saw this
God.
movie.
But
We just
Eternals-
saw a movie called Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah,
yeah. It was
green
good.
screen.
No, hardly any.
Really?
Yes.
No green screen.
Dude, everything was shot in planes.
You saw Top Gun?
We both
It's
saw it. I saw it twice.
unbelievable.
Two of you guys?
I saw it twice.
Man, I would love to see that.
You should
and
see it.
I'd like
This
to,
man's in the
You
plane.
should see it
I'd
opening
like to be
weekend.
part of this
You should see-
conversation.
You should see it opening
breathing
weekend.
in the headphones. Like, it's real. You
Do you
can't
think I
replicate
can see
that.
it the Thursday it opens?
Yeah. You might. Oh, no, wait. You have to do stuff with us. But maybe Friday. Oh, wait. You'll be with us. Saturday? Oh, no. Same thing.
How about Sunday night?
Sunday night, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
After everyone's talked about it.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. You spoiled.
Great.
Want to do a spoiler review with us before you see it?
I have to see it first.
No. Anyway, so but that leads to the real locations and all that stuff too. It's just more effective. But as we were mentioning earlier with the volume, that it does give the actors something to work with and pretend they're in the locations and all that. So I think that it's still very effective. And I also think it was a great thing to have during the last 2.5 years when people couldn't be on location as much and couldn't travel as much and all that. So, but I think that people will start, as you say, that you will start to notice it more. Remember that technology always gets better.
Yeah.
So there will be times where you will not be able to, because the technology is going to get better and better as they perfect that technology. Look at the difference of, like, say, even the technology of the de-aging as compared to the deep fake of what Luke looked like in Mandalorian to what he looked like in Boba Fett.
In a year.
In a year. I mean, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. Next question. Chris Cosson. What do you think Kevin Feige's Star Wars film will be about? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say that it's going to be either an actual Old Republic film, or it will be in the general area of how the Sith and the Jedi began, and he'll pick up where Benioff and Weiss, like that general thing. I think it's going to be heavily on Sith and Jedi, if I was to guess. I have no indication. Just a complete out of left field guess. Even though there's one viewer that we always have that goes, he knows. I'm like, I don't know anything.
Yeah, I could see that. That's what I think. It's going to be Old Republic. They're just setting it up too much.
You think so?
It was that particular comment of the guy who the Loki writer who was just like, yeah, it's just so refreshing not to tie in anything at all.
Well, I took that a little differently than you did.
Okay.
I took it as, like, it seems like every film is set in this, what would you say? It's a 60-year period?
Yeah.
From
Phantom
Menace
until-
to Rise of Skywalker, like 60 years?
give or take, yeah.
Seems everything is set in there.
Yeah.
And every time something is set in there, we've got to have a lightsaber. We've got to have a Skywalker mention. I still think they could set it in there and not mention any of those people. It's a big galaxy. It's a very big galaxy.
Yeah, I mean,
And I think that's his thing. Is like, yeah, we're putting in, this is our story. We're in this time, but I don't have to talk about this. I don't have to talk about this. I don't have to mention Vader.
Sure.
It's nice.
Yeah, maybe. Similar to
That would be, if a writer can do that and pull it off, that tip of the hat to them, because that's awesome.
I don't disagree with you going down that mindset, because it's like, if you look at even that Patty Jenkins movie with Rogue Squadron, people didn't really know what it was going to be about. What's it going to tie in?
Yeah.
Anything? It was going to be a separate story about two pilots that we just never knew who didn't tie in at all, and no mention. Those are the types of movies, by the way, that they should be doing.
Yeah.
And whether it's an Old Republic, setting up a Old Republic, brand new movies, trusting in your lore and setting up new characters and all that, that's what they should be doing, because it is too hard to appease everybody, to try not to retcon stuff and do all that. That's why I think Obi Wan works so much better in a TV show than a 2-hour movie. Of
course.
So I think that it will be a brand new story. It's just a matter of it's going to go down. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if it went down the road that you're talking about.
Want to bet a steak dinner on that?
Not on that one.
Oh my gosh.
Not on whether or not or what it's going to be. No, but I do think it's going to explore more so into the lore.
Sure.
I just think obviously a more mild Game of Thrones in the Star Wars world.
I see what you're
is
saying.
what it
I
could
think
be.
I think the fans want something like that.
Yeah.
I think they
Could
do.
be. All right, but that's Steph. Do you have an opinion as far as what you think? You think it's definitely going to be Old Republic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
do.
Better steak
Because
dinner
it's
on it?
setting up like a whole new era, and
Yeah.
I think they might want to do a trilogy with Feige or whoever directs that one, and that's a good era to step into. Or it could be a standalone too, to see how people receive it.
You know, if it was James Gunn that was doing this, I would bet you 5 steak dinners that it was Knights of the Old Republic, an adaptation. If he's
With James Gunn?
That'd be sick.
He's his thing?
He's a massive Knights of the Old Republic.
Is he?
fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a massive
Really?
Knights of the Republic.
Okay.
fan.
He would make it so. I hope he would put his little raunchy twist in it.
His raunchy twist.
See, but that's the
So
thing with James
raunchy.
Gunn. It's like James Gunn, who, when you look at like Peacemaker, which is so his style,
Yeah.
I think he knows Knights of the Old Republic so well that, of course, he'd add certain humor when it was HK-47 and all those, like Meatbag and all that. There'd be things that James Gunn would probably have just a field day doing, but I think he would be true to
To
it
the
overall.
theme.
I want to see James Gunn do a Knights of the Old Republic TV show for Disney+.
But he is such a,
Sign
like,
that
we
up,
talk
do
about
that.
style. We talk about style. Big Raimi. We talk about Raimi's
Yeah.
style. Gunn's got a style.
He does have a style, but he's also
It's
but
very
He's not dumb.
Even
But-
like his early stuff, like Slither.
but he knows
style.
Yeah, it is a style, but he knows what the essence of that story is and what it
But
should
I-
be.
I find him-
I would be that one. He does have a particular style. You're not wrong. And I've said it, like with the Guardians and everything too. Sometimes like his jokes are always funny, but sometimes I feel like the jokes he'll go for the joke. Like that person should say it because he knew it's a good punchline and it works, but maybe it wasn't necessary for the story. I didn't feel that way in Peacemaker. Peacemaker, everything landed for me.
but it was
style.
what
It was his style. But anyway, I think that if you gave him Knights of the Republic as a TV show,
Yeah.
it would work. And I would if they announced that he was coming out to do a show, I'd be like, he's doing Knights. He loves Knights.
Yeah,
but
but-
with Kevin Feige, I don't know how much he loves. Knights.
I feel like you tell me Kenneth Branagh's directing Knights of the Old Republic. I'm like, yep, done. I get it. You tell me James Gunn directing Knights of the Old Republic. I'm like, huh. I don't know how this is gonna go.
because the only reason,
And that's not to say he's not a-
knowing. No, I know what you're saying. It's just because of style. When you put the two styles against each other, but when
Yeah.
you listen to how much, there's no way that Kenneth Branagh knows more about the Knights of the Republic than James Gunn.
But he's
does.
also not a novice filmmaker that's gonna go. I'm not gonna put my stamp on this.
But he's a fantastic TV
Here,
producer.
perfect
already who
example.
probably would know what
Perfect
to do
example.
with it.
Perfect example. Taika Waititi and Thor.
Yes.
If you would have told me this guy's going to do Thor, I'd be like, whatever.
Right.
And I didn't. And I'll be the first to admit, when I saw the trailers and this and that, I was like, oh, this is
Of
terrible.
Ragnarok.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Of Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok is one of my favorite Marvel films
Right.
of all time now.
Right.
But it's 180 from Thor of what Feige and everything put forward.
because he
as
put
what
a
Thor is
style
gonna
on it.
be.
Yeah, but look, and the same can
And
be said.
people accept it. Like, this is the Thor now. We don't want
Right.
old, where art thou, Thor, anymore.
The same could be said about Taika's episode of Mandalorian. It starts off with Sudeikis with that little
yeah.
with
Yeah,
that
yeah,
little
yeah.
monologue.
The biker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's troopers.
Hey,
With that,
Let's-
but,
I love
that part.
but then by
Roll
the
the
time
dice
you
and
get
take a chance. Let's
but
do it.
by the time you get to the end of that episode,
Yeah.
you're like,
He's
oh my god,
sacrificing
it's everything
himself.
about it is great. So
Okay.
James Gunn doing a Knights of the Republic, I would love to see. Now I don't know if Feige's going to be doing a Knights of the Republic. I do think he'll be playing in that area. But anyway, lots to talk about. So if you're brand new to the channel, please hit subscribe, hit the notification, do all that. All right, great. Next one. Here is the next question. 1990. How about just 1990 JMCG? Have you had the chance to watch the gallery episode of Boba Fett? No, we haven't yet. Has it changed your opinion on the show, hearing Favreau, Filoni, and Rodriguez' justification for some of the decisions made? And if not, do the views they express raise any concerns moving forward for the direction of Star Wars series? Okay, so I'm bummed that I can't answer that well enough.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm going to watch it before next week.
Yeah, because I do want to
Yeah.
be able to talk about that, and I keep. So the last couple of nights, every time I go to put it on, it's not that I haven't been interested. I'm very interested in watching it, but I'm in this kind of weird mode where I just want to, like, I watched Stand By Me the other day.
Yeah, we're in the same mode.
Yeah, do you know what I watched 2 nights ago?
What?
The Truman Show.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I thought you guys were gonna say you watched Top Gun a couple nights ago.
Saw that
I
yesterday.
did.
Saw that
I
yesterday.
watched Top Gun.
But
I watched.
yeah, it was good. But I
Mary Met
watched
Sally.
Top Gun again. I watched so all these different movies I've been watching, and and then I started watching the newest Scream last night.
Oh,
Yeah, did you see it?
yeah.
We'll talk about it. It's
I know every time.
Why is there nobody in the hospital when this guy's running around trying to kill people? There's a scene where Ghostface is chasing people around and nobody's in the hospital.
Maybe they didn't have money
no
for
workers,
extras.
nobody.
They didn't
You killed
have
one
for
cop.
extras.
It's silly. Silly.
Was it at night? Were they sleeping?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's silly. But it's still whatever. This is not that.
I know. I need to watch the gallery though. I
Yeah.
keep going to Disney Plus, and then I'm just at the best part of the final season of Clone Wars. And
You're watching Clone Wars right now. See, okay, well but gallery we will. Let's make it a priority to watch it next week.
Before next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's make it a priority.
Yeah, I will.
I want to talk about it. My plan was I
100%.
would
I
have
love
asked
the
you guys
galleries.
to do it because I wanted to watch it all. So I've been keep meaning to do it, and I'll probably wind up watching it today. Although we're doing our Jurassic World. What's that crap box called? The second one. Fallen Kingdom. Fallen Kingdom.
I haven't seen any of those.
Any of the
Any
Jurassic
of them?
Wars?
I think I've saw the first one because I remember the Jello scene.
Oh, you got to see the first
You haven't
movie
seen
again.
any of the Jurassic
Maybe I'll.
Park
You should have done the
films?
rewatch
Steph.
with
I'll
us.
do it.
Yeah, you should have done
Steph.
everything we talked about. You should do it. You should.
Okay,
do
I'll
that.
do
We'll
it.
talk about it. All right. So let's keep going. Let's keep moving on here. So Prophet Talk. What do you hope to see out of the Obi Wan Vader meeting? What would you hate seeing? That's a tougher one, right? Because I mean, it's just weird because who's going to win that fight?
A draw.
Would
What
it
are
be-
you talking about? They talk about the
Draw.
Captain America
Probably
Red
could be
Skull thing.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a draw.
I think you're right, and I think that's what I'd rather see.
I think they'll both be. I think Obi-Wan's gonna get a little hurt. I think he's gonna be kind of.
I don't want him to get help. Same thing.
No, we don't want help. I
I
think
don't
he's
want
gonna
him to
get
get
hurt.
help. I mean, maybe okay. This is what
Here we go.
is what I'm worried about again.
Here we go.
If this Reva turn happens,
Yeah.
and we accept it, and it's great, and
God,
it
I
works
want to
out.
see your face if it does happen.
I just don't want it to happen during the fight.
Like she's the one that
Like she
saves him.
rescues
Like
him.
she swings in and throws her lightsaber up and
And
blocks
she's like-
Vader's lightsaber's like, no, I turned against you, Vader.
No, I hope that's not the
You guys,
case.
don't think about that.
I'm just saying I don't want I just don't want anything
We're-
to I don't here and I'll even throw let's take Reva out of the equation.
Yeah.
I don't want Owen to get involved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want
I want it to
I don't want
put them
I don't want
alone somewhere.
I don't
Same.
I don't want a droid to get involved. I don't want anything to get involved.
I don't
just
want people
them-
watching it.
Nothing. Yeah,
Nothing.
like if something happens where something splits them up and they have to get split with you, but like no one should save anybody. Nobody should
No.
save Vader. Nobody should save even if Palpatine
Because
comes
Vader
in
would
and
know
saves
where
him.
he would be if they're on Tatooine. He would know where they were if they're close to his little homestead
Right.
or whatnot.
Right.
So he's got to be somewhere secluded, alone.
That's what I'm
Just
saying.
two brothers
That's
going
what-
at it.
Just
You
Yeah,
are
I
my brother,
want it
Anakin.
So I want it to be so
emotional.
emotional.
What I don't want it's like so this is for wrestling fans out there. It's like back in the day or even now.
Rev is going to pop in. It's like, go, get out of here. I got him. And he'll take off on a ship, and that's going to happen.
No, but like a wrestling fan, what used to happen is like you get this big title match. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh man, it's a big title match, and it's going to happen right before like a big pay per view or something too, and then it's a count out, and there's no title change, and nothing happens. It's like,
What does that mean?
Means that if they're both outside of the ring, and the referee counts to 10, and it's just like champion retains the belt, and it's just like it was this big epic match, or somebody got disqualified, and it's like, oh, what a bummer. Like that's what I don't want. To
Yeah,
happen.
I don't want like Jimmy Superfly Snuka coming in and saving Hogan or anything like that.
Well, those are two guys. Those are two references of two guys that have gone through. Ooh, man.
You don't know Jimmy Superfly Snuka?
Yeah, murderer.
Is he?
I know him pretty well.
Did I pick the wrong wrestler to use an analogy with?
But that's interesting. All right, here we go. Let's get to the next one.
Yeah, murder.
Lord Slayer of the Light. What a great name that is. Hey, man, I read
That's my
some.
call sign.
It is.
it
That's when you
sucks,
when you walk into a bar. Lord Slayer of Light. Hey, man, I read somewhere that Lucasfilm are toying with the idea to continue Obi-Wan. You did read that because I think we even talked about it on this show. And yet the trailer suggests 6-part event. Do you think that there will be a continuation? And if yes, what would you like to see?
I think the way they're doing that with the 6-part event, they're not letting you go like, but there's going to be more.
Right. And they're
This
not
is
saying there's going to be less.
Right. This is it. Get hyped for the main event. This is it.
This is the one that you should be excited about.
Yeah.
They're basically saying this is a 6-part event. We'll talk about everything else later.
Yeah.
Whether or
Focus
not
on
we're gonna do
this.
it. What I don't want them to do, and we've touched on this before. What I don't want them to do is say, "Oh man," because these ratings are going to be through the roof on this show.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to want to see this show, and if it delivers, and there's not a lot of complaining, which there'll be some, but if there's not a lot of complaining,
Of course there's going to be complaining.
But if it's like Mandalorian was more positive than complaining. I think.
I didn't remember complaining, but
Right.
Fett was complaining.
Fett was complaining. Fett was
By
like
us.
halfway through by a lot of people. But if this one delivers, what I don't want. Oh, we need season 2 now. We got, massive ratings, and we got to have Ewan back.
Chill.
This is where I know you and I are more on the same page now, where I'm calling this like, this is like the real shared universe that they've always wanted now.
Right.
And now that you have Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor kind of signed on even more, pepper him into other shows, put him into other shows. We're seeing Christensen Christensen's going to be in Ahsoka. Obi Wan, you can pepper into Andor. Maybe meets with Jimmy Smits, a couple little meetings that they have here and there. You can do a flashback scene somewhere else and have Ewan McGregor pop up as Obi Wan and pepper him in. A season 2, I think the main storyline again should be Vader and Obi Wan. Depends on what the main storyline is and how it carries out. What do you think, Steph?
I completely agree. I think those are the two main characters that we'd want to focus on. They have the most emotion, the most backstory, the most to the future story. That's what I would want.
All right. Well, let's get to the next one here. Can Buyuku Berber, did I get that right? I don't know.
Sure.
It seemed to me like Ewan and Hayden will continue to be, there we go, we just talked about this, continue to be part of the Star Wars cinematic universe. Moving forward, where do you guys see them in future projects, and do you think we'll do a complete transition to Alec Guinness look via deep fake at some point? No, I don't think you're going to go there with him. I think that you'll probably keep him either younger or in this time period. But the honest answer is you keep Ewan McGregor around as long as he wants to be around.
Yeah,
and it seems like he's pretty locked in.
And return of Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, and
I'm team.
Hello there.
And he's ready to do some more stuff. I would love to see, this goes back to that previous question. Don't worry about another Obi-Wan series. Do a 6-part series if you can deep fake them just a little bit. Let's see a 6-part series of adventures during the time period when they're on the same page. Anakin
Clone
and
Wars.
Yeah, but Anakin, but they went on these side missions a couple times. Where they would do other things, and maybe just like a 4 or 6-part series of Obi-Wan and Anakin doing something together, and you just so even in this movie, the silly Scream movie that I'm watching, they deep faked or they might have de-aged him with Skeet Ulrich, right? And I would rather them deep fake for sure, but if it works out, I don't know, that could be something I think people would respond to it. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, let's get to the next one. Jared Moody. Do you think they'll ever do a movie with no characters connected to the Skywalker saga? Well, it certainly looks like it with Feige's one. I love Mandalorian, but a part of me wishes they would have kept doing what they were doing in season 1 and kept it a separate story. What are your thoughts? I disagree with you about the Mandalorian because of where it is set in the timeline. I just think that would be so negligent if the whole storyline is that they get Grogu, here's the Jedi, and then it's Grogu. Like it is Plo Koon or it is some other Jedi. It's like, well, why wouldn't it be Luke? He was the most powerful one.
Yeah.
It's like the time period of
I'm with him though. We talked about this. I had a friend that's in he does producing. That's his thing. He's like, Mike, and this was a couple years ago. It's probably pre-Mandalorian. He's like, Mike, they're terrified at Disney to have a Star Wars thing without a Skywalker or a lightsaber.
Of course.
They're terrified. And they probably, every project that comes up, it's like, there's no Skywalker. Can we get and you see it now, Rey Skywalker. It's like, I think they're getting a little more confident now where they can go, you know what? And like Feige's thing, don't mention Skywalker.
Right.
Don't mention a lightsaber in there if you don't need to.
No.
I know you want the lightsaber.
Mind.
You shut your mouth.
You're out of your mind.
You watch your mouth and shut it.
Stupid.
Why wouldn't you use
do a
lightsaber?
You don't need lightsabers. Lightsabers are not synonymous with Star Wars. You don't.
Why not? Yeah.
Because you don't.
It's like, bro, do you have a lightsaber?
Do I have a lightsaber?
Yeah.
I actually don't. I gave mine away.
Because you're a loser. They're awesome. Like, everyone wants a lightsaber.
But not everyone gets to have a lightsaber.
And you know what? Nothing brings me greater joy than to be watching Star Wars with my lightsaber.
You got 15 million movies and TV shows with lightsabers in them.
I need
something
more.
different now. Why?
You had me with the not having.
I got you. You know what I'm saying.
Skywalker, but not have a lightsaber. I mean, pew pew, fly. That's what you're gonna have.
Like, why not? They can.
You know why? Because in Japan today, they still have swords. Well, guess what? In America, we don't run all the swords. We've got guns in different parts of the world and stuff. Not everyone needs to have a lightsaber everywhere. That's why.
That made no sense.
That made 100% sense.
No, it didn't. You think
Get out of here with that lightsaber BS.
Again, old man on the porch with his
you're
lightsaber.
like hating on something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's
Yeah, you say he's like, I don't want Reva to help him. Well, that's going to happen too.
I don't want any of it.
That's going to happen too.
It probably will. You're probably right.
Damn right it was. See?
You're probably right. You're probably
Get
right.
out of here, that
All right.
nonsense.
All right. Well, anyway, let's get into Richard Genga. Do you think Vader, the Inquisitors, find out about anything on Tatooine? Obi-Wan is still living there come the time of New Hope, and Luke seems to be safe. Cheers. It's a great question. Look, one way or another, it does show what I do think. What I hope will happen is that Reva seems to be the one who's investigating.
The smart one. Maybe.
She seems to be investigating on Tatooine. She seems to be on Tatooine looking, right? Maybe she gets whacked on Tatooine and never gets the information out. You know, like
I doubt that.
I don't know, maybe, but like that would be interesting too. Like if all these battles and these vicious battles come, and she really, as you were saying, hurts Obi-Wan really bad and gets to this place where it looks like, and maybe Lars comes in and helps him out, or Owen Lars comes in and helps him out. Who knows? But it's like almost like has the information ready to give to Vader, saying, by the way, I discovered this. He's protecting this kid. Here's the information, and then she gets whacked. Like that to me would be interesting if that's how they play it out.
Do you think? Let me ask you guys this, because I'm going to throw something out there here. Do you think Vader wants Obi-Wan dead? Like, he wants to be the man that kills Obi-Wan?
Yeah,
Kenobi.
he wants. I think
so what happens
I
if
think he's
Reva's
obsessed with
going
him.
at Obi-Wan, just full on going at him, and Darth Vader sees this and is like, no, he's mine, and he kills Reva?
Possible, but remember in the
This is my
trailer.
kill.
Yeah,
Well,
remember in the trailer, she said you can't avoid him.
Yeah, so she's working for him. Yeah, I get it.
You,
Okay,
you can't. It's just it
I'll
seems
crap on
like
my idea,
no
that's
matter
fine.
no matter what, you try to run, he's gonna find
Yeah.
you.
yeah.
So because she's doing all the hunting for it. So
And that makes me think she's going to turn even more.
you think so?
Oh, yeah, if she's saying lines like that.
Because
you think she's in his pocket.
Obi-Wan's a silver fox out
Yeah,
there.
like, but I understand now. Vader lightsaber through her stomach, and she dies in his arms. And he's like, "Why did you do that, Anakin?"
all of this, what if?
It's true. It's
It'd
true.
be
We
like
are.
if there's a TV show for
And
that.
Steph's gonna be like, "See you idiots! You guys
You
worried
just
for
need to
nothing."
Wait and see.
Steph's just
right.
gonna be like, lightsaber,
Trust in
lightsaber.
the Force. Okay, at least I have a good time.
That's right. That's
I
right.
like life.
That's right. All right. Albert Rodriguez, do you think that they could explain Kenobi's advanced aging if we see Palpatine give him a dose of Force lightning? No, I don't think they'd do that. I don't think
Like
they
fucking-
I think.
excuse- sorry. That's my bad.
I think they're gonna not even address that. To be honest,
I hope not.
Yeah,
like we know,
yeah, we get it.
We
It's
get
fine.
it.
JT Huffer Cole. Hey guys, do you think we'll see flashbacks to the Clone Wars in Kenobi? I'd love to see some flashbacks with a young Ahsoka. Same for the Ahsoka show. I do think we're gonna get flashbacks.
I do think flashbacks. I don't think Ahsoka. I think
Yeah.
Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Or
Yeah.
maybe like over the comms, or like he like talks to.
if she
Nick.
shows up, it'll be so brief.
Yeah,
It'll be
so brief.
and it has to be super.
But do you
deep.
think it'll be a younger version
Yes,
of her?
100%. Has to.
Different actress. Or
No, I think they'll probably just be a deep fake.
No, she has so
younger.
much
But she-
makeup on. I think.
yeah,
that they
but
can
she's also
completely-
okay. I'll say this, and maybe this is the difference between live action and animated. Like Rosario Dawson's very statuesque as Ahsoka. Anytime I've seen Ahsoka, Clone Wars movie, whatever,
a little more petite.
very slender, small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we ever seen in Clone Wars, because I haven't gotten there, where she kind of gets like
Bulked up?
an adult version of her?
I mean, she's definitely.
Or she just
I think what it is. I
slight
think that Rosario
person.
Dawson's more athletic.
Very athletic.
And I don't think that anyone will care because it's live action. You know, like
Okay.
comparing it, like when you look at.
Oh, you don't? You look at Inquisitor's head.
I mean, I think people will say things, but I think overall, when that's the type of thing you got to be able to sacrifice.
Because
if
she
you
wasn't
do it.
known as a small character necessarily, and also Anakin was.
Size-wise, you mean?
Yeah.
But Anakin towered over her, but
Anakin's
he's
really
big.
big.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
It's big, yeah. So, all right, let's do this.
Okay.
This is the last one. This is the last one.
What do we got?
No, this won't be the last one. But legit questions:
That's
Are
the
there any
last
girl
one.
droids? Of course, there's girl droids.
They're it.
Solo.
Yeah, do droids
Oh
have
yeah,
sex?
Solo.
L337.
Yeah, and then there's also there's
337,
and there's
yeah.
one in the prequels. Another
the
protocol droid.
Protocol TC-14.
Yeah. So they have them. This is the last one. Shane Cutshaw. Any chance we see Mace Windu in a flashback? I mean, I think there's a chance you can see anybody in a flashback.
Didn't he just come out and say
He wants
something?
to be in it.
Yeah.
He wants to be in it. But I would love to see Mace Windu back in a flashback. I would hate to see him back in reality.
Yeah, because loves Samuel L. Jackson.
Love.
The best. Mace, the worst. Like, he's so annoying.
Yeah.
Like, he really.
A Sith Lord.
But I would like to see. It would be awesome to see a flashback with him or anything, but not as a character.
I don't want to see him come. I don't want to see him. He survived.
And then, unless it's like his young Mace.
He's
when
like
he was
hobbling away out the window. He's like, I gotta hide.
Yeah, you're right. It's like why? It's like he doesn't come back at all. It's like no. And I have someone wrote to me today. They're convinced Darth Maul's coming back. I'm like, no,
He's not.
That's the type of stuff that when the previous guy wrote in about Luke Skywalker. That's the kind of stuff. Like, don't just throw stuff in there. I mentioned like the other thing with Boba Fett, and someone said that Solo was going to show up. I'm like, why would Solo show up?
People notice stuff. Like I remember when Ray Park popped in for Solo, fans were like, "Oh, Ray Park."
In the movie.
Yeah,
in the movie.
Right. Fans were like, "Oh, put on some weight there, Ray." Like they noticed it. Like I didn't even notice. I was like, "Oh, that's Ray Park back." But the fans and these characters, and now Samuel L. Jackson's aged.
Well, they'll de-age. They would,
but they de-age, but they're still like
still like the Irishman. You like the Irishman?
Well,
right?
look at Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
We de-aged Sam Jackson 25 years. He still ran like a 70-year-old man.
Right, and that's like the
You
Irishman
can't
stuff.
change
No,
stuff
no,
like
that's
that.
that's
the fight with the Irishman.
yeah. When he's doing that stomp, it looked like my dad. Like,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So
he's supposed to be 20.
deep
He's supposed to
fake
be
and that
28
stuff
years
works
old.
good when you're just doing this.
my arthritis.
But when you got a full body, you got to put the double in there with his face on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Look, it was a great episode today. We had a lot of fun. So thank you guys for joining us. Next week we will watch Gallery for sure. But we are moments away from. We really are from. Yes. Go ahead, Bill.
You know, it's not moments away.
What's Sammy?
Me seeing Top Gun.
Yeah, I know. That's all right, Jeff. So we are now going to. There's a lot of things we have coming up. Obviously, we'll do Gallery next week. We'll take some more questions from you guys. I'm sure, have more Obi Wan stories as they come out. But we are going to be at Star Wars Celebration. We will be there Thursday morning. We'll be there Friday. We'll be there Saturday. We'll be there Sunday. We're going to be there the entire week, covering it throughout this entire channel. We're going to be doing our reactions and reviews right out of the panel. So make sure you subscribe to this channel for that. We will also be doing. I mean, that's the other thing, is that we will be watching Obi Wan. What I think is going to happen, by the way.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Is Thursday night. I think we're all going to probably go and watch. If I was to guess, the Obi Wan, the first 2 episodes. I bet you they're going to screen them
For us.
for everybody who's at Celebration.
So I won't be able to see Top Gun that night.
Probably not.
So you want to stay up?
Unless they say, but what they could do is have that panel, that live action panel, and then say to everybody, "Hey, everybody in this panel, stick around. We're going to screen the first 2 episodes." And maybe it's right then and there.
I think they do it right then.
Maybe. I mean, the only thing with that is that if the panel itself is an hour and a half, maybe let's say usually they're about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, right? And then you get 2 more hours,
An hour and a half.
All right, so it's anywhere between 3 and 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
they'll do it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think most people would stay. I would stay.
Because I'm looking logistically, they won't keep the convention center open that long to pay all the people that got to clean and this and that. When they close, do they? The Comic-Con thing, when they close, you're out. You get your butt out.
But remember at Comic-Con, they did that whole, even with Star Wars, when they did that July,
you're right.
they did that fireworks thing. And
But that's off property.
What's that?
It's off property.
Oh, you dopey. They did that whole big panel
With the
first.
lightsabers.
But then Kevin Smith had a panel right afterwards.
Outside.
No, it was in a hall. Listen.
What?
I got to drink my tea.
I got my Comic-Con hotel room.
Good for
Ready
you.
to go.
Oh.
Boys are going back to the Hilton Bayfront, baby.
Any other thoughts
that's
going
a
on in
nice
your head at the
hotel.
moment?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
50
else?
million of them. For an old guy.
Purple.
For an old guy, pretty spry with the thoughts, huh? Jimmy Choo?
Bagels.
Why is that white, that wall? That's what I want to know.
100%. All right. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the flip side. For me and Mike and Steph, thank you guys so much. And make sure that you please subscribe to the channel. And don't forget us on the Big Thing Podcast feed, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. All right. Catch you on the flip side.
I can feel your anger. It gives you focus, makes you stronger.